If you don't mind, have something for me? Admiral Logan's office shouldn't be terribly far. I picked up something you might be interested in.
Is it weird that I still get... nervous around you. We're little.
I have something for you when you have a moment. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. I don't mind. Admiral Logan's office. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. Yep, here you go. Not at all. You can... Admiral Logan's office shouldn't be terribly far. Let's go.
By the way, Captain.
You will be scanned as you enter the city.
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto some. Did you find what you were looking for? I haven't been to Londinian in many years. Why? Is there some way I could be of assistance? Were you able to recover? Good news, then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terramor. Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us. Of course. Do I look like I'm in any position to do it? So I'd very much appreciate your agreement to not share what you found. We wouldn't want anyone else jumping to conclusions now. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau Ceti, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have... All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why... discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk it, so I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once: halting the spread and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential. These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The free... I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of terror. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the... It was the only option that made sense at the time. Easy to say now, but in that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variable to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria, the pilot of the Warlock, the man I had to eliminate, to hide my secret. Captain, please. You've benefited here as much as I have. Maybe more. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard, with only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the wealth. something befitting the dedication to the colonies you two have shown. While, of course, they can't give you a command, responsibility like that has to be earned. The Cabinet does have access to... I expect you'll be quite pleased with the result. And none of it would have happened without my intervention. I'm simply looking for you to acknowledge the... And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlez's role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlez and Orlez. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together. Hunting down criminals and others. I expect they'll give me a bit more free range once this is all over. You would help me, like you did with Orlez. Track them down, and keep them from doing harm to the United Co. Impossible, though, if the Cabinet learns I'm the one responsible for the attacks. And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war, or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same, and leave my name out of the discussions to come. Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Asylees are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the Cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
Orlez? Reginald Orlez? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. Oh yeah. Both worked for UC Defense Research way back when. Different departments, but everyone had a mean eye for weapons tech. And a meaner temper. Wasn't exactly a surprise when he fled instead of standing trial after the colony. But finding out he's taken up mass murder in the years since, that is a shock.
I don't know much about Orlez, but anyone with a sick mind like that needs to be tried for his crimes, and then dealt with appropriately.
That's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlez now? Were you able to bring him in? I'm sorry to hear that. Those sorts of missions are all. Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plan? I can't imagine the amount of work it took to deploy the Lazarus plant off-world. Strange to go to all that trouble.
Well, the man knew how to hold a grudge. I wouldn't be shocked if this was him getting back at the UC for trying to put him on trial.
I guess. Well, at least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be the best we could ask for, given the circumstances. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. Unless there were other things we needed to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terramorphs.
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again...
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant. And then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we could...
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of... So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably... And here we go.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
My God.
An attack? Using terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlais commit these attacks, Captain?
That appears to be the case, ma'am. The captain tracked that information down just after our trip to Londinian.
Reginald Orlais? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain. I guess that didn't go according to plan.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission, and who ordered it. Did you two suspect that the... Only that it would have been preferable if you'd managed to find him before he murdered UC citizens. Now, are you going to answer the question for me or not? Well, it appears you are ahead of... This report contains definitive evidence Orlais triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant the captain and Major Sanan uncovered.
Simply harrowing.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable for him to have finally faced the UC's justice. It seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with before he could... You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the... With the threads you've brought together here. The Lazarus plant, the attacks, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant...
A sound decision, Madam President. Tell the Freestar Collective. Why? So they haven't...
I'm in agreement. I failed to...
That's true. With all the mistakes and the deception that's been going on, the UC has an obligation to be as open and honest.
That is an interesting idea. A grand gesture, showing definitively this cabinet doesn't think like those of the...
So, you want us to make nice with the collective by sharing our state secrets?
No, I want us to display plainly the UC's actual intentions, that the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does sound very well. We'll get the collective involved in the management. Thank you for the suggestion. So then, the cabinet has agreed to implement a plan. In fact, the project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step...
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the same.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protect.
And fast results always lead to the best outcome.
As you can see, there remains debate among the cabinet. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves. But the cap...
I see. Captain, I know this may not... I believe we have a responsibility to do something, yes. Heavens forbid. It falls to us to enact every measure required to ensure...
Glad to see someone's not afraid of a little applied genetics. The science division is in full agreement.
I doubt there's another body in the galaxy that could pull it off.
Absolutely correct. There are no better hands in the galaxy for this project than ours.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding... As befits such a group, the cabinet wanted to Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial... And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive. You all have earned it. Now, there's much... Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your effort.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for them. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick. Speak to your commander. Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, this meeting is adjourned.
Did you know I used to have an office near... the top of mast? Fun. The mighty have fallen, eh?
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day.
Well, well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain. No need to thank me. You brought this all on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies, and the credits should be in your accounts. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access. Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know. But with all that squared, there are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up Terramore. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien. Any of those missions call to you? Suppose that's true.
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than... Admiral Logan's office shouldn't be terribly far. Let's go.
you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. Sorry to pull you aside like this, but I want... Taking those steps to eradicate the Terramorph threat is essential to the safety of every living thing in the... Indeed. Leaving that problem unchecked could have made the situation go from bad to... Well, I'm relieved that the United Colonies agreed to use their genetically engineered microbe to exterminate. Apparently, their decision was based on your recommendation. That was a smart choice you've made. A solid... That's a wise decision. Besides, if Chief Engineer Kulkarni believes that the microbe will be effective, then we have to trust her. Good. I wouldn't want you to think it was some kind of mistake. Despite the Lazarus plant being simply locked away, your decision has made the settled systems a safer place to live for years. Oh, well, of course. I'm happy. If there's anything else you ever feel like...
This is a dangerous assignment, but you all are here because you can.
Why, hello, fellow Class 1 citizen. That's never gonna get old. Now, you heard right. These Terramorph attacks, they caught the UC off guard. UC brass doesn't like that. So, they want us patrolling the front lines of xenological life, ensure we've got intel, which means we need someone to track down said aliens. We're trying to build a comprehensive picture, but since dealing with unfriendly... Glad to hear it. There is just one. So, if you're interested, you'll have to convince her, of course. But I don't think she'll fight you too badly. I expect she wouldn't mind too. Now, let's get you the details of your first quarry. Here you go. Head there. Find your specimens. Bring those samples back here. I'll have a tech waiting outside to collect them. And so you know, you need to kill these critters to harvest the important cells. This isn't the same level of analysis we were doing with the Terramorph. Little will go a long way.
Captain, looks like we missed each other back at Mast. Listen, I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But now, knowing what I do, that my past is less of a closed book than I thought it. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. The best ones certainly do. You know, I was thinking while we were up on that podium, but I knew the answer, because confronting him, what would I have gained from that? From letting him... Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has some sway over my life. And while I can't do anything about his role in my past, I'm not about to let him control my future. And thanks to what we've done together, that future is brighter than it has been in a long time. Words can't do justice to how grateful I am for that. Well, I think it's safe to say you succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's been an honor, Captain. Good luck out there. Hey, you need something? Okay, I'm listening. Backup? What does that have? Oh, I'm flattered, but... I mean, I do too, but leaving the I guess you're right. Besides, Percival will never let me forget it if I turn down field work in favor. If you really need backup out there. Yeah.
Thank you for the offer. Really.
I'll head out soon.
See you, Captain.
Painful memories or not, it's good to be home.
Vanguard space missions, hunting morphs, or helping Dr. Walker. Any of that work sound interesting to you? Suppose that's true. Vanguard space missions? Suppose that's true. Well, we could remedy... Just getting those coordinates to you now. Report says ships at these coordinates fired on United Colonies craft. You're clear to use lethal force if necessary. Sounds like spacers tried scrapping some ships, with their pilots still in them. Go show them the error of their ways.
Got ourselves some cargo. Huh. Wrong place, wrong time.
house is full of mules.
Switching over to standard engines.
Did you know I used to have an office near the top of mast? Far the mighty have fallen, eh?
Had a question? Got a mission bringing some peace to UC skies. You interested? All right, let's get you the... Transferring that to you. Done. You're authorized to eliminate any hostiles you find in that sector.
Enemy's shield systems offline. Enemy's ground fire disabled.
You're authorized to eliminate any hostiles you find in that sector.
Let's pop into Outland while we're here and see if Joe has anything useful to add to our arsenal.
Hey, what can I do for you? And here's our new...
On our watch, no hate.
Sure thing.
We'll get understood.
Understood. Looks good here. I'll be... My booth, if you...
Approaching ship. You've entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. That's all we need. You're cleared for landing at Aquila City.
Nice jump. Right on target. Must have been a good jump. We're still in one piece. Setting down. Everything in the green.
sure they had something we can use.
you must be the one with the sample. Ah, you must be the one with the samples then. I'll get these logged ASAP. If you're interested in collecting more, you can speak to Dr. Walker.
Hell of a city, isn't it? There's nowhere else like it in the galaxy.
Super et Ultra, Captain. You can just call them SysDef. They're the division responsible for combating the Crimson Fleet. It's not a small job, keeping the galaxy's mercantile class safe from death and dismemberment. So they're constant. They work out of the ship, the UC Vigilance. Got a mission bringing some... That the sort of thing you're looking for? All right, let's get you the... Ah, here we go.
at our grab jump. Shield generator is completely blown. Our jump systems back up. Our grab jump system required, Captain. Captain, our shields are available. Our shielding system is down.
It appears things have gone downhill since the last time you were here.
Well, you're back.
Argos has clearly washed its hands of this operation.
Oh, no. Don't start. I've had enough Barrett for one lifetime. I don't need the sequel showing up on my doorstep. More pirates showed up when you were gone. We weren't as lucky this time. Calvert, Troy, some of the new Dusties. They didn't make it. It's not like we were eager to stick around. But we had injured people on recovery, and pickup coming at some point. Anyway, I was pinned down behind some crates with Barrett. Bullets and laser fire everywhere. No smile on that damn carefree face of his. Like he knew this was it. I started steeling myself to go out fighting. Then that idiot puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Stay here, Lynn."
Not for them, anyway. Barrett is more dangerous than you might think.
Next thing I know, 2 of the pirates are dead, and he's got the 3rd one in... drags him out into the open at gunpoint and demands to talk, or else I'm going to demonstrate Newton's 3rd law on this guy's... And that's when they brought out Hela. I didn't overhear everything, but after the 10 longest seconds of my life, Barrett put his hands up, and both of them ended up getting taken aboard the pirate ship. And that's the last I saw of either of them. They could have grav-jumped anywhere. I tried pinging a transmission to the ship in the comms building before they left, but the pirates must have fried it. You want to try it? Go ahead. But the odds of them being alive, even if you could find them... I've lost a lot of people on this run, Dusty. I just want to pack up.